reminder, character modeling tutorial series for beginners. This is part 31, is it? I think we're in part 31. And we have our lock of hair set up. What we're going to do to begin is we're going to edit our axes of rotation. And this is just kind of a best practice in the world of CG, computer graphics, and animations. So take a look. If I scale this on the x-axis, it gets longer. Okay, and that's actually not what you want traditionally. I mean, it can be if that's what you're using, that's fine. This is just a minor detail. But take a look at what we're going to do. So we're going to rotate this on the, oh, hang on, I got to make sure I turn my screencast keys on. Are they on? B, N, W. Okay, cool. Well, I don't want that. I want this. Here we go. Get back to normal. Okay, got it. So we're going to rotate this R along the Z-axis, Z, negative 90 degrees. Okay? All I did was hit negative 90, and we're going to rotate that. And now we're going to Shift A, strike that. And we're going to Control A to lock in that rotation. Shift A adds new stuff to the screen, to our platform, to our interface. Control A applies it. See, we got this apply right here, and we want to apply that rotation. Now, take a look. When I scale it along the x-axis, look what happens. It gets fatter, okay? Whereas before it got longer, now it gets fatter. And I think that it's just one of those, you know, it's just, I don't even want to call it a best practice. It's almost like a tradition. And yes, I know that you can make the case that tradition is nothing more than peer pressure from dead people. But you know what? It's a powerful motivating force, y'all. And so that's just how we're going to run. So do that. And now we're ready to roll. So let us roll. Okay, I'm going to scale this down because it just looks a little big for my head. So I'm going to scale that down. It's like a lock of hair. And now here, just so you can kind of see what I'm doing, and so you don't have to ballpark it, let's just make it the size of one of these blocks. Okay, we'll make it one grid block size. And now we can duplicate it. Shift D, and this duplicated piece right here inherits everything from this. Inherits the rotation, inherits the lock. So now we don't need to do any of that rotation stuff again. What we are going to do is attach this bad boy to our head. You ready? You can do this. I believe in you. We're going to use a new tool today that we have not used yet. It's called the snapping tool, and it's up here. You see this little magnet right there? Let's click that. Let's click that magnet. So we have clicked the snapping tool. One more thing before we get going. Actually, let's come back up here. Okay, so align rotation to target. Yes. We also want to snap with active, not closest. Active, and we want to project individual elements. So this is kind of important. You're gonna have a weird time of it if your interface does not look like our interface. If you're following along, I mean, look, you obviously don't. If you want to make it look your own way, and I encourage you to play with all of these, but for the time being, for what we're doing right now, we're going to snap to the face. We're going to snap with active. We're going to select align rotation to target and project individual elements. Okay, you with me? Excellent. Let's roll. Grab this and bring it up and just kind of drag it to our model, and you can see it's already attached to the model. And what's cool is that when this was on the ground, it was laying horizontal, but now its axis is lining up to the face of the model. And you can just drag this up, and you see how it sticks to her head. Okay, and this is, well, I say stick. The better word for it is probably snap. That's why it's called snapping. Okay, and so we can bring this around, like that. And we have some hair. And if you, I mean, obviously you can pull it off like that. That's all I'm doing is pulling up. But when you bring it close, and if you kind of draw along the contour of the head, the hair moves with you. And snapping is a real powerful tool. Okay. And so now let us, and again, this is probably way too big. So we're just going to scale this down a little bit. Did you see what just happened right there? Because this is where our selection is. Okay, so if we want to move our cursor to selected, we can just Shift S and go, where are we at? Cursor to selected. Now take a look what happens when we scale. This one gets smaller. Cool. Okay, and then let's bring this back up. And we got some hair on her head. Control S. Save your work, y'all. Or Command S if you're on a Mac. If you're on a PC or a Linux distro, it's obviously Control S. But if you're on a Mac, and you know what? I don't even think I have specified that yet thus far. Mea culpa, you guys. Hopefully Mac users out there you've understood that when I say Control S to save your work, you make the adjustment, and Command S it. Okay, let's build out the bangs, you guys. What do you say? And let's actually, I think we're ready for some color. I think we're ready for it. Okay, so let's see what happens when we give this a material. New, and we'll call this material, you know what, this is the first time we've done materials, so let's take some time with this. In our properties panel, you want to come down to this circle right here. Okay, you've used properties before. Really, we've used our modifier properties, to add subdivision surface modifiers and mirror modifiers and stuff like that. Our properties, this is just another panel, material properties. Okay, click here, and then if that was too fast for you, all I did was click new, and it gives you a bunch of stuff. Okay, now material 001 doesn't really help us, so let us let's call it pink, because we're going to have other materials and they're going to be other colors, right? We're going to have face and eyes and lashes and skin tone and clothes and shoes and all that noise. So let us call this pink. And if you're wondering, how do I get this hair? Do I got to figure out the base color of this hair? Blender does something real cool. So the base color, you can see here, do you see it right here? It's kind of turning green. And it's just attached to it, and Blender knows to attach it. Okay, we can make it blue if you want. You can make it red. We can eyeball to try and get that pink, but if we want precise and precision, click this eyedropper, and then anywhere we touch now, Blender is going to match that color. So let's just bring it over to her bangs and go like this. Shabam, and there you go. Here's this pink. Is this pink? So that's how you can add real precision. I mean, obviously, look, if you want to play around with it and pick your own color, do it. I encourage you to experiment. But if you want to be precise, then you just use this eyedropper. Eyedropper, sample a color from the Blender window to store in a property. Okay. And look, if I click that eyedropper and if I go click this gray, it goes boom, gray. And it matches the gray perfectly. I obviously don't want that gray. So I'm going to come back to, and if you want this kind of soft pink right here, if you want one of the darker pinks, if you don't want pink at all, if you want blue, purple, green, yellow, I mean, seriously, y'all, taste the rainbow. So once you have the color, now we have the color we can mess with. Let's build out some bangs. I'm going to have one to go into front view, just so I can see. It's obviously way too big to be a bang, right? This looks like it's almost part of the braid, part of the curl. So let us go to, I want to fix the origin point to go to the median point, and that, which is up here, right? We've messed with this before, median point. And then watch when I scale. I'm just going to scale it down and make a bang, you guys. And you can make it as tiny or as big as you need to. And we have our reference over here, and we have our bang right here. And we can bring it up, and anywhere we move it, it just kind of runs with what's going on. You with me? Are you with me so far? Is anything I've said too hard, too challenging, too fast. Okay, y'all, we are ready to build out some hair. So if I'm gonna kick into side view and I wanna bring this, I'm gonna grab with G and bring it up a little bit more. This is about where bangs start. You see, up here. And now, okay, this is a pretty important detail. When we move our object, we want to be in object mode. But now we are ready to edit our object. You know what? I'm going to scale it down just a little bit more, like that. Now we're ready to edit our object, and we want to edit in edit mode. We're going to do that with tab, okay? And now we're going to edit. We're going to use these guys to edit. We can rotate like that, and look what's happening. And we can scale it, and we can bring it down like that. And this is where the hair comes to life, you guys. We're gonna rotate that around like that. Maybe bring it up a little bit. I'll swing around, and you can see we're just building out the hair. Okay, I might even make this rotate a little bit more like that. Maybe build that up. I'm gonna tab back into object mode and scale it just to scotch, because she's got pretty long bangs. And look at that. So now we have one kind of curved bang happening. Let's tab back into edit mode and grab it, bring it out a tiny little bit like that, and down to make it longer. Like that. And then even this can, and again, all this is a feel thing. You will get used to this. You just gotta try it out. And all I'm doing is taking these anchor points right here and just moving them around. R to rotate. Okay, and if you don't like it, you obviously escape out of it. Scale if you want to make it bigger. If you want your curve to be huge, you can scale it. If you want your curve to be tiny, straight hair, you make it down. I'm going to escape out of that. So you can rotate and scale these, and we're just manipulating our hair. Okay, let's grab this in, up, rotate that up. Like that, maybe scale that out like that, like that. Okay, what do you think? Is it all right? Are we okay with that? Looking good. We have our first lock of a bang. Good job, you guys. If you're still in this, if you're hanging out here and you can do it, which you definitely can, man, I'm telling you you can do this. So with our bang, let's have this be the center bang. So let's tab back into object mode and grab it and just move it over a little bit like that. Now let's make sure we're still connected. Yeah, we're still connected. Outstanding. Maybe bring this up and connect and rotate. I'm just gonna rotate a little bit like that. Looking good, looking sharp. Outstanding. Great job, you guys. Great job. You're doing so good. Y'all are doing so good right now. I'm gonna rotate that just a scotch. Yeah, I like it. And there's a bang. Now she's obviously got some long bangs here, some really long bangs around the side, and some short bangs. And we will do all of that. We're gonna get into all of that, but for the time being, just your first bang. Okay. Outstanding. Great job. Great job. Let's save our work. Okay, so now we're going to duplicate this strand of hair and build out the hair. One thing we want to do is make sure that our transform orientations are in local. In object mode with our strand selected, we're going to Shift D and just bring that over a little bit like that. Make sure it's still on. Okay, and now we want to scale this. We want to scale the thickness and the height, but we don't really want the length at all. So we want to do we want to scale along all axes except Y. So we're going to go S to scale, Shift Y, and Shift Y just eliminates the Y axis from being scaled. And now we want to drag, and there we go. So we have scaled it along all axes except Y. And then let's bring this, we obviously have a little editing to do. We can rotate that like that and bring it out and grab it over like this. Okay, let's rotate like that along the Z axis. And now grab it here like so. And then rotate, I think we want this along the, not the Y, mea culpa. Rotate along the X axis to bring it out a little bit. There we go. Okay, now that we have that, we can, oh, need to rotate along the X one more time. And now we can start to form out this bang here. So let's tab into edit mode and start to shape our head. This is a little high. Okay, so now once we have our shape, it's really just a matter of repositioning the handle. So let's scale that in a little bit. It doesn't need to be that extreme. And then let's make this, let's rotate, there we go, like that. And bring that down like that. There we go, not looking too bad. Let's go back into object mode and bring that over. And then we're gonna have to rotate up on the X again like that. And there we go. Not looking too bad. Let's tab back into edit and see what happens when we rotate that around. I kind of like that curve. Bring that like, Control Z. Maybe pop this up just a little bit more. Give it a little more cushion from the head. There we go. Okay. You know, one thing I do want to do is rotate this to better match the orientation of the head. So in object mode, rotate that like there. And now we tab into edit mode and we can bring this over. And this is going to have to be rotated around a bit like that. Like so, and then let's scale that in. Curve that out. Bring that up like that. Like there. And then bring this one out. And down, maybe rotate that out. Also looks a little thick, so I'm going to tab into object mode, select it, and then scale along the X-axis like that to thin it up a scotch, and then grab it back here and just move these around in edit mode. So we'll grab like that there. I don't want to scale that in, but I do want to grab it along the Y-axis and bring it out like that. Like this. So there we go. All I'm doing is rotating here, and it, you know, it moves the whole strand. Okay. So in this video, we started attaching hair to the head. All right, we're making progress. It's going to take some time. Now, normally in the tutorials that I've seen, they kind of attach this hair and then they're like, all right, now I'm just gonna do the rest, and they do it and overlay in kind of a fast motion. We're not going to do that. So I'm going to do it at speed, at slow speed with you, so you don't have to, you know, watch me do something in fast forward mode, and then you're kind of left like, what the hell just happened? hair is kind of, it's not an advanced technique, but it's certainly like an intermediate technique or advanced beginner. All right, you can definitely do this. We're going to do it together. You have everything you need to do this. And if you have questions, ask them. So we got a couple new tools in the belt. You're starting to get a little bit more familiar with the interface. In the next video, we're just going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. Y'all, so get up. I'm going to get a stretch. I'm going to get some water. I'm going to let my dog out, do a pull-up. And then we'll come back and we'll keep going. So see you in the next one.